What you may not know about me is that I love to hike in the mountains. For 27 years, I lived within driving distance of the Rocky Mountains here in Canada. Now I can tell you with an absolute certainty that not only are the Rocky Mountains both majestic and beautiful, but I can tell you firsthand, they're immovable. Let me be clear here. The Rocky Mountains don't move for you, you move for them. The same is true of the kingdom of God. It does not bend or move according to the will of men, but it only moves according to the will of God. Oh, don't get me wrong. Evil men have tried to oppose the will of God. For example, Pharaoh tried to oppose the will of God, and it was Pharaoh that moved, not God. Nebuchadnezzar tried to oppose God with a statue of gold, and it was Nebuchadnezzar who moved, not God. The people in the plains of Shinar who tried to oppose God with their tower at Babel, but it was them who moved, not God. The truth of the matter is, we too can become unmovable and unshakable when we put our trust in God. As a matter of fact, when we trust God, God can take a momentary defeat and turn it into a win of mountainous proportions. For example, take Joseph, who goes from a slave to a prisoner. And yet God, in order to save the world, moved Egypt. And in the end, Joseph becomes the second most powerful man in the world. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego end up in a fiery furnace. Daniel ends up in a lion's den. And Jesus ended up in a tomb. All because powerful men opposed the will of God. Doesn't sound like a victory of mountainous proportions, does it? So how can we say that the will of God doesn't bow or bend to the will of men, especially evil men? Think about it. The three Hebrew worthies walked out of the fiery furnace. Daniel walked out of the lion's den, and Jesus walked out of the tomb. How? Because what was unmovable was the will of God. In each and every situation, God actually used the opposition of the wicked as a tool to accomplish his will. So what's the lesson in all of this for us today? It's simple. History always repeats itself, which means that there are wicked people who will try to oppose God and his people today and in the days to come. And God's call for us today is the same as it's always been. Stay faithful, stand firm, be unshakable, and unmovable in your faith. Because no matter what happens to us, we serve a God who can turn even defeat into a mountainous victory. And that was our nugget for today. Please, again, have a look at your lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.